Today is the last day of in-person early voting. It's a beautiful day. There's no excuse. Every single person we know in our life, friend, family, stranger, neighbor, coworker, we have to get everybody out before the polls close. When we hit 9 p.m. on Tuesday, there will be no regret. We won't be dwelling that we should have tried just a little bit harder. Laurent Singletary, he came so close. We should have tried just a little bit harder. Lee Zeldin, it was almost there, but we didn't dig deep. Y'all know the stakes. We're trying to save our country.
Right.
Yep.
We're trying to save our state.
Yeah.
Our future here as New Yorkers. You know, we want to be able to say that we live in the greatest state, in the greatest country in the history of the world. That's what we want to be able to say. And at this point in time, if we were to talk to anybody in any other state, they'd be able to respond and say, but don't you live in that state that leads the entire country in out-migration?
Yeah.
So you're telling me that you live in the greatest state in the country, but more people are leaving your state than leaving any other state in the United States. Is that right? Yeah.
It's us.
Now right now we have somebody who's sitting in the seat who doesn't even understand why it is that we lead the whole country in population loss, so how can we expect it to be fixed? Now we all know exactly why we're in this situation. We know about that breaking point. We might be feeling that ourselves. And I'll tell you what, a few days ago, Kathy Hochul brought in Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. Yesterday she had Bill Clinton. Today she has Joe Biden coming in. And I'll tell you what, every single one of those rallies, she is unable to draw the energy in the crowd. If you just look around you right now, who has the momentum? Who has the enthusiasm? The energy to bring this home? Which campaign has the issues on our side? You can't do this. Now, I don't know, maybe they want to break out the Joe Biden magic. Maybe they should, for old time's sake, what worked in 2020? They could draw 13 of those little circles on the ground, stand 14 and a half feet apart. Monroe County's coming out strong. Monroe's ready. So we had a debate about a week and a half ago. I'm not sure if any of you caught the debate. And we were asked question after question after question about crime. I mean, there was just a 4-year-old who was just shot. News from the last 24 hours here in Rochester. 68 murders already.
70.
Now it's up to 70.
You've been gone for 2 days.
You know, Bob Duffy, who was a Democrat lieutenant governor under Andrew Cuomo, he called for judges to have discretion to weigh dangerousness. Eric Adams is a Democrat mayor in New York City. He's calling for judges to have discretion to weigh dangerousness. What we're here talking about in the need to fight crime shouldn't even be viewed as a Democrat versus Republican issue. We all want to be safe on our streets. We all deserve to. Our families should be safe. So we get asked question after question after question about crime. And I point out, listen, we're almost halfway through this debate, and you haven't yet spoken about the whole locking up the bad guy part of fighting crime. Now, she could have taken that as a hint. Thanks for reminding me. And then she could have said about how important it is to lock up people who are committing these offenses. But instead, she said, she doesn't understand why this is so important to me. And when she said that she doesn't understand why this is so important to me, she is saying that she doesn't understand why this is so important to all of you. So she dug a hole. She had to get herself out of the hole. What does she do? She went on MSNBC and then she says that this is a conspiracy. She says that we are data deniers. I mean, the number of murders in Rochester this year already has set a record. Data. So she goes, she's dug herself now an even deeper hole. What do if you're Kathy Hochul, you dug yourself a big hole, you then tried to get out of it and you dug a deeper hole? What do? You dig deeper. You dig deeper. So 2 mornings ago, she goes on CNN, and she's continuing down this line. And it was a side-by-side that she didn't realize was up. The other half of the screen was actually showing major crime categories, one after another, all going up. And she's trying to share this argument. She just dug an even deeper hole. So now you huddle with your campaign advisors. Listen, that's just not working. You got to come up with something different. What do you think? What do you suggest? What did they do? They kept digging. Kept digging. So now, 2 nights ago, she goes back on MSNBC, and she's talking to the host. And the host cuts her off and says, "I don't feel safe in New York City." She says, "When I go to the pharmacy, everything's locked up. I'm not riding the subway." Again, this is about Republicans and Democrats and independents. All of us uniting as New Yorkers to save our state. That's what this is about. This is about making sure that we don't have district attorneys who by policy are just letting violent criminals run free. It's making sure that we are unapologetically backing our selfless, dedicated men and women in law enforcement. Rolling back pro-criminal laws like cashless bail. I heard Allison just talking about what had happened just outside of Buffalo. On a Tuesday, Adams released. Kara said, "You can't release him, he's going to murder me." He was charged with a slew of domestic violence offenses. The judge should have been able to keep Adam detained. The next day, she said she's wearing a bulletproof vest and in front of her 3 kids. Data deniers? Go tell that to Kiera's 3 kids who are going to go out without a mom after they just watched her be executed because the system, the laws, failed their family. I'm here today with my wife Diana, our daughters Michaela and Ariana. Just a few weekends back, we had a gang drive-by shooting on our front yard. The girls were at home on a quiet Sunday afternoon. Here we are. It's a quiet Sunday afternoon. If it can happen, I'm a 4-term member of Congress running for governor. If it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. Now, thankfully, they were both home as opposed to just one of them. Obviously, it would be better if neither of them were home. First, they heard the gunshots. They thought it was fireworks. But then they heard the screaming. And when they heard the screaming, they thought that these 3 people were coming for them. And they responded very smartly and quickly. They went upstairs. They locked themselves in the bathroom. They called 911. They called us. And they were okay. One bullet landed about 30 feet from where they were sitting. 2 people shot were laying on the ground 10 feet from where they were sitting. This isn't just some New York City issue. We live somewhere between, depending on traffic, 1 hour and 10 days out of New York City. We were just talking about the tragedy that hit Kiera Hudson's family. Talk about a 4-year-old shot yesterday, right here in Rochester. A dad who goes to visit his kids for Parents' Weekend in Marist. Getting a cup of coffee and checking out of a hotel. So yesterday, Bill Clinton, during his speech, he was